everyone. Welcome back to the Lord of the Rings Online. Here's Gnarlo. Say hello to everyone, Gnarlo. Good boy. Alright, he's sitting here in Bree. We have just left the Barrow Downs, which are right back over there over those hills, and have traveled back to Bree Town to see if we can't level up a level or two, so that we can get pretty close, a good deal closer to even level on Book 1, Chapter 10 over here, where we're supposed to go into the North Barrow Downs and find the Cribine and kill them and their master. So here we are in Bree Town. We're going to look around, see if we can find some quests for us to do. And we have one right here in front of us, Watchman Cardoon. And he has a nice bright gold ring over his head, which means that his quest is somewhere within close to our level, within a level or two above or below. Has not gone trivial yet, so...
Stay and hear me out.
Yeah, it's a 14th level. Gnarlo, yes, the Watch has been awaiting your arrival. News of what you have done travels quickly, and in this time of need, every ray of hope is necessary. Our mayor, Graham Tenderlarch, wishes to meet with you. You will find him within the town hall. Travel along the road to the southeast and look for the large stone plaza. The entrance to the town hall can be found there. Enter and speak with our mayor. Alright. I believe we've spoken to the mayor already. In one of the other quests where we went around and we did the quest that he gave us, where we went around town and talked to just about everybody in town to find the major areas. So let's go see if we can find the mayor in the town hall and maybe pick up any quests that are along the way. I don't know of any that we should pass, but we'll see if any rings appear on our map here. Alright, we're coming up. There's a ring there. Is it just the task board? It is. It is just the task bulletin board. So there's nothing there that we need to fool with. So we'll continue on down to the town hall. Alright, we are entering into the large plaza here, and ahead of us is the Bree Town Hall. Let us go on in and talk to the mayor. Excuse me just a moment. Do still have a bit of that lingering cold, so I'm going to try to keep my coughing to a minimum and off camera. And let's go in and see what the mayor has to say to us. Hello, Graham. Alright, meeting the mayor. Hello, welcome to Bree Town. You are most welcome here, Gnarlo. Allow me a moment of your time, and I will do my best to see that you learn of all that Bree has to offer. Bree is a large town, the largest in the north, and certainly the most populous as well. I know that we do not seem like much, but in truth all roads lead to Bree, and it is for that very reason I've asked to meet you. Bree has suddenly become rife with folk of a most unsavory sort, and every day it appears that more arrive. My chief watcher, Grimbriar, took it upon himself to investigate a number of claims coming from the farms around Bree Land, or I would have you speak directly to him about these matters. Alright. Got some more reputation, too. Okay, we got two quests that he gives. The Trouble with the Southerners.
Could I speak with you a moment?
As I mentioned before, brigands have become a true threat to the safety of Bree Land. My chief watcher has moved to the outskirts of town, just outside the west gate and north along the greenway, to a small stone cottage in an attempt to thwart the brigands' plans. Would you be willing to visit him and see if he's made any progress against the threat that these southerners pose to our city? It seems to me that every day more and more of these brigands find their way into Bree, and while some are simple refugees, I fear a growing number mean this town ill. Talk to Chief Watcher Grimbriar as soon as you may. Alright. So we'll go meet him. We've passed him several times on the way to the and from the festival grounds.
Would you do something for me?
And then we've got one of those infamous overconned travel quests. Have you heard about Trestle Bridge to the north? Its location makes a tempting target for orc raiders and brigands. I'm sure your help in its defense would be most appreciated. Gather your belongings and travel north to Trestle Bridge. The Greenway is the most expeditious path, and the most well-trod. Keep to it and you should be safe. When you arrive, check out Guardsman Oatley. He'll point you in the right direction. So we've got the 20th level quest, Bree Town to Trestle Bridge. And that should be a very easy way to make a good number of experience points. If you want to get experience fast, those tend to be the best ones, the travel ones. Most of them are a lot easier than what their level and color would indicate to you. It's like this: if you're with a little care, you shouldn't have to fight anything on the entire trip up there. So that's what we're going to start off with, is trying the Bree Town to Trestle Bridge route. So we're going to continue on up here. We'll probably take we'll take the main entrance out to the west. West gate. That'll be this is the easiest way out of town, the main and normal way out of town. And will put us walking right by the stone cottage that the Chief Watcher is staying at. Okay. Here's West Gate. We just passed the stable master. And Harry Goatleaf, the watchman here for the gate. So we're going to head on out through it. Right down here is the crossroads of the Greenway. And since we've not been up the Greenway all the way to Trestle Bridge, remember, if you continue that way, you eventually cross the Bree Land, you come to Buckland, and then cross the bridge into the Shire again. And if you turn right and travel north, this is the path up the Greenway up to Trestle Bridge. So I'm going to zoom out. Oops. It's also time to click my cloak again. Get that running bonus. Now, right ahead of us is that cottage that the Chief Watcher stays at, Mr. Grimbriar. He used to be found inside town. In fact, I think in the early days he was stationed right outside of the town hall. But they moved him out here to, I guess, help encourage you to move out into this area. So we'll go ahead and talk to the Chief Watcher right quick.
What do you need?
Tenderlarch sent you? Good. I could use another hand out here. If Tenderlarch had his way, we'd have asked those blasted rangers for help. Fortunately, I convinced him that my watchers can handle whatever this upstart threat is. With your help, we'll have these brigands driven back into the South Downs in no time.
Can I speak with you a moment?
Alright. Sharky's Men. Those of y'all who have read the book should recognize the name Sharky. My job is to guard Bree. I don't have the men to waste patrolling the countryside, but of late I've had reports of brigand raids near and around the town, so I moved to this location to keep closer watch. I need someone to look into these rumors, and I've coin to spare for anyone willing to help. There have always been a few outlaws in the hills and dales north of town, but it seems that recently they've grown both more numerous and more bold. If you can find out what is going on, it would be appreciated. Careful though, once these outlaws would flee any armed man, but now they are more prone to attack without warning. The farm across the road seems to be overrun by brigands. You could start your investigation there. Okay, and we have a quest over here. Dwarf hiding in the corner.
Hear me out, traveler.
Hail, good fellow, I was wondering if you could help me with a bit of a problem. It seems that no sooner did I set my latest blade out to cool than someone stole it. I didn't see who made off with the sword, but I suspect it was one of those mansmiths working out at Thornley's. Their craft is nothing like dwarf craft, and likely their jealousy of my workmanship moved one to them to steal my blade. If I were to ask them about my blade, they would just ignore me. You, though, by the look of you, are a great warrior. Oh, really? It's a great compliment coming from a dwarf. If you were to ask them about my blade, they'll be honest with you. How about it? Can you find my stolen blade? So we'll see if we can't find his stolen blade as well. Is that everybody here? Yeah, I don't see anyone else tucked in any other corners. So we're going to continue on up to the north. Now, right over here is the farm I believe they want you to investigate. And we will take a look at that whenever we're on our way back down. And see if we can find, I believe there should be a good number of brigands right over there that we can fight. And see if we can find anything on their bodies that tells us where their loyalties lie. As you come on up here, this area up in here is of course Thornley's worksite and Thornley's farm. And interestingly, that's where he's telling you to check to see if you can find his missing blade. Yeah, the guy at the forge has a circle over his head, has a ring over his head. So we will definitely come back and talk to him on the way back down. Meantime, we're going to continue to the north. Right over here to the right is Serdan's shack. So we're Serdan the Ranger. If you remember, we run past his shack and through the little notch in the hills right behind him to get to the festival ground. So that's where we are there. So to the left is Thornley's farm. And we're going to continue on past both of them into areas we haven't traveled very much. I believe we've only been up this way one time, and that was way back, if you remember, when we had the we were trying to get the horse. We had that temporary 24-hour horse that it gave us, and we were coming up here to return it, and I was hoping that perhaps it was going to let us earn the horse riding trait or something of the sort, but instead it was just basically an advertisement for the store and the fact that you could spend turbine points on getting the horse riding trait early. As it is, we've only got 4 more levels and then we can earn it, I think, legitimately. If you turn right here, that should be what takes you up to Hingstacer Farm. That's the road up to Hingstacer Farm and up to where you get the horses and all. Let me take a look at the map here right quick. Yes, there we are in the Northern Bree Fields. That's the road to the farm where you get your horse. So this next part here is territory we have not traveled on yet, as much an adventuring. Oh, by the way, right over yonder is where the wolf den is. If you remember the festival quest where you have to go and get the boar meat that the wolves have stolen, that's right up underneath those trees there. Just to show you where we are. So we're definitely traveling into territory we have not traveled over in this character. And this road here, we just continue up the Greenway and it eventually leads right into Trestle Bridge. As you notice, the road becomes a little bit less traveled. We start having some grass and all growing in it. A little bit more rutted and overgrown the further away from Bree Town we get. As to be expected. Now, Trestle Bridge up here is an invention of Turbine, as there is no mention of any place called Trestle Bridge in the actual Lord of the Rings. So it is a invention of theirs. Okay, as I said, here we go. We're already running into a yellow orc here, and some orange wolves. So, and off to the left there as well is also an orc camp. So like I said, these travel quests are not without dangers, not without a risk, but once again, you see how easily we're able to, with just a little patience and a little bit of care, just a little bit of care, we're able to sneak past the wolves and the orc there. And in all fairness, we might have been able to run past them and been able to get past them that way, and probably would have lived long enough, even with them hitting on us. As long as they didn't stun us, we probably would have lived long enough to make it past them to the point where they gave up and went back. But it's just as easy to do it this way, and doesn't take the risk of getting stunned and then getting defeated. So like I said, up in this area, I think there are a couple more like little wolves and bears. See, there's a blue bear to our left, and we passed another orange wolf off to our right there a second ago. So you just have to kind of keep your eyes open and just take care. Especially make sure there isn't anything stuck behind one of these trees that you're not seeing. And right over the top of this hill, you should see Trestle Bridge. There it is. As we enter the North Downs, we're now in a new zone and a new area that we have not been in before. And notice we've gotten kind of a haze in the air, which you'll figure out why as we enter town and you see all the burning fires and things. Trestle Bridge is up here on the North Downs. The North Downs has been fairly invaded by orcs. So Trestle Bridge gets invaded quite often in the story here. As you see, there are a number of burning and burned buildings about town. But we are looking to Guardsman Oatley. Let's see if we can see him about town here. One of the first things we want to do is grab the stable hand over here.
What can I do for you?
Alright, so now we'll be able to travel to and from West Bree. If you grab this stable hand, then you won't have to make that run on foot anymore. Here's the canyon that Trestle Bridge crosses. It's a river canyon. And over the river is the Trestle Bridge that the town gets its name from. Okay, now Watchman Otley, where are you at? Otley or Oatley? Notice here some of the vendors. I don't believe, excuse me, I don't believe there's a vault keeper here in town. There might be, but there are generally all your, there's your oven, over here's your forge, all of your basic crafting things are here. And, of course, the grocers and provisioners and all. That, I believe, is Captain Trotter. And most of the quests here in town should be a good ways over our head. Let's see, Guardsman Oatley.
Greetings.
Bree Town sent you, eh? It's good to know that our messengers arrived safe and sound. And now that you're here, well, it's good to have another sword arm for the cause. Alrighty, 643 experience for that, so that was a good collection there. As you see, his quest ring is, it isn't the faded out one, meaning he's too low. It's just a silver ring, meaning his quests are too high for us. And there's no way we would be able to accomplish them. There are a couple here in town that are within our range, though. Probably still a level or two above us.
Could I speak with you a moment?
Yeah, see, here's a red one where we got to sneak around and collect nails and hammers and saws. So that one would probably be a little bit over our heads. Guy to our right there's got one we wouldn't be able to do. Let's see what the captain says. See if his is a little bit closer to us.
Might I take a moment of your time?
Alright, he's actually got one right there. It's on our, actually a level below us, level 15. Greetings, Gnarlo. As glad as I am to have more help here, given how things are going, we have need of more experienced warriors, and I would not see you needlessly slain on our behalf. Nonetheless, I have received a missive from an old friend of mine, Constable Bram Ashleaf, out in the Lone Lands. It seems that the usual lawlessness out there has become unmanageable, and he is looking for brave souls to aid him in bringing it back under control. I can at least provide you with a quick mount for the journey, should you wish to try your luck at the Forsaken Inn, where he is quartered. Okay. He's actually sending us out into the Lone Lands, to the Forsaken Inn.
How can I be of service?
Alrighty. So, you've decided to go lend a hand to Constable Ashleaf. That's just as well. Things are getting dicey around here, and I wouldn't want to see a promising hero such as yourself cut down before you're ready to face the darkness that's looming over Trestle Bridge. It says, completing this quest will immediately send you to the Forsaken Inns in the Lone Lands. Getting back is another matter. Alright, so let's finish it, and we'll go to the Forsaken Inn. I guess that's one way of them sending you to a more level-appropriate area to explore in. As we'll wait for the Lone Lands here to load in. Alright, and here we are in the Lone Lands, right outside of the Forsaken Inn. And we'll go right over here and grab the stable master.
What do you need?
There we go, and as we see right now, the only one he's got for us is South Bree. Okay. I'll pull up on the map, show you where we are. We are right here. There's the Forsaken Inn. Ahead of us is Weathertop. I think we've seen that before whenever we were going to the housing. You see the ruined tower on top of Weathertop there. And off to our left, the road leads back to past the Midgewater Marshes, which you can just see the corner of there. Past the Midgewater Marshes, the housing is off to the left and eventually leads right back into Bree. So, okay. That was a pretty decent little quick travel that gave us there. We can go on into the Forsaken Inn and see, as you see, yet another task bulletin board. Every zone has one of these. And we got a mailbox should we need it. Let's go on and take a look inside the Forsaken Inn and see what quests are in there. And if there are any down here around 16th level for us. Okay, we've got a bunch of silver rings over people's heads once again, which indicate that the quests are too high for us. So, that's not exactly a place for us to adventure right now either. But it did make it an easier route for us to get back down here to the Bree area. So what we would do is head on back toward Bree Town. We'll run this first little section as we go along until we get back to the housing instance area. Just because, once again, we've never been in this area before. You see, like I said, there's Weathertop. You can actually see it better a little bit distant here than you can up there close to the inn. It gives you a little bit more detail. Maybe it was our coming back out, but we've now re-entered into the Bree Land area again. We should have traded maps. Yep, there we are. We're right over here, just crossing in through the Weather Hills. And as I said, there's the Midgewater. The Midgewater Marshes will be to our right there. why there's a pond or something to our left. Small one, yes. Okay. And just continuing following the road off to the west. Start hearing the frogs and the crickets and all. Like I said, there's the Midgewater Marshes. There, that's the more custom thing that we saw last time. We didn't see the tower on top of it last time, just the shape of the Amansul itself. I believe, in fact, in the movies, that's all it ever gets called. You never actually hear it called Weathertop. In the movies, as they're traveling along, Aragorn turns and looks and says, there once stood the watchtower of Amansul, but he never actually gives it the name Weathertop, which is it's known by more commonly. Alright, just a little bit further and we'll be coming up on the housing instance. We'll be back into lands that are more readily recognized and more traveled by us before in the past. Still a pretty territory out here. It's still late September. Late September, early October, so the leaves are just beginning to change here, becoming early autumn. It's one thing I don't know if I've mentioned before, is that as you travel from the west to the east in the game, time changes. Over there in the Shire, it is still, late September. The further you go, the more time passes. By the time you get here, I think it might actually be October. It's December whenever you get to Rivendell. It's a little bit strange sometimes traveling around the calendar. Right there's the road that leads down to the housing instance. You see, we've been down there before and traveled in, and that's when we showed you all the Halloween things. The Harvest Festival and the Haunted Burrow items, like the Haunted Tree and the Scarecrow and all those items. That was at the house right down there. As you see, we're leaving the Lone Lands behind. There's where we showed you Weathertop before. That is definitely the highest hill and the most easy landmark. Once again, there's the Midgewater Marshes. I have a few flickering trees in the background there as they're trying to pop in. So from here, it's just follow the road back into Bree, and that is what I'm going to do. We will go past the yellow tree, which you've seen before, and I will just continue on down the road till we get there, and I will meet you again when we get to South Bree. And just bringing you in here again. Over here to the left, I'm just going to point out, if you remember the battle that we had with Amdir, right here is the actual brigand lair. This is the old ruined fort that the brigands are inside of. That in that instance, if you remember the solo instance where we met up with Strider and a couple of rangers in the middle of the night, and we went after fighting Amdir, and we saw the Nazgul turn him into a Kargul, that low-powered white creature, that wraith creature that we then battled and killed. This is where it happened, over in here. And like I said, it's not just an instance. You can actually, there are several ways. Right over yonder is an entrance where you can get inside this fort here and fight brigands. In fact, there are several quests in the Bree area here that send you into that fort to fight against brigands and do a little spying and collect barrels of pipeweed and that sort of thing. The only part of it that you can't get into is, as I said, that last part where you actually battle him in the graveyard. That's up there on top of that hill, and the only way to get into it is actually be in that instance. The rest of the time the gate is shut and there's no way of getting in there into it. So it's just a short trek down the road here from Bree itself. As you see, we're coming up to the southern gates of Bree. We're going to pass the little skirmish camp off to our left, which we are not able to skirmish quite yet, I don't believe. I think you have to be 20th level perhaps to go into skirmishes. But that is a skirmish camp, and whenever we get to that level, we'll be investigating that. And here we are back in Bree. So we're going to call it an episode right there. A little bit of traveling around, a little bit of seeing places we had not seen. It was more of a travel log than anything else. Next time when we come back, we'll go back up to the north. We'll go and investigate that farm and see if we can the brigand farm. See if we can't find out where the brigands are coming from, and then we'll go next door to the Thornley work site and see if we can't find the missing dwarf blade. So, I said, not too much action and adventure in this one, but a bit of a travel log, a bit of a look around the sights of Bree Land. We've been to the very far north of it here. Been very far north, right up here to where we go to Trestle Bridge, and we've been way over here to the very far east of it, where we go into the Lone Lands and to the Forsaken Inn. So, hope to see you next time, and we will talk to you then. Have a good one, and we'll see you later.